Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for this session. I think I'm going to start out, before I dive in, one of the questions I saw posted was, what is ProLiteracy? So for those of you who don't know, we're a national nonprofit. We're the largest adult literacy and basic education membership organization in the nation, and we're dedicated to changing lives and communities through the power of literacy. And sort of the way we do that, of course, is through creating resources that we push out into the field to help you guys do your jobs as best as you can and help as many learners as you can. So let's dive right in. We're going to be hitting you with a lot of information, and then I think Elaine are going to go through everything and then have time for questions afterwards, okay? But you can also, I think, post questions in the chat, correct, Michael?
That is correct.
Okay. And you'll be monitoring the chat, right, Michael?
I most certainly will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So everybody, one of the ways we get out information to the field, especially after COVID hit, was webinars. Webinars. We were doing, I think, a webinar every single week during the first phase when everybody shut down. So, like you, we had to pivot as well. I mean, we had always done webinars, but that became our key way of disseminating information. Just like I'm sure a lot of you switched to Zoom or Whova and to deliver training to students, to tutors. So we had to pivot as well. And we did a lot of webinars that we thought would be helpful to the field. Fundraising in a pandemic. We did a bunch of webinars just around that theme and ideas from the field. That's where we brought in some of our member programs to talk about what they were doing to make that pivot and to share it with the field to see if they could incorporate those ideas into their practice as well. And distance education strategies and solutions, helping programs make that adjustment who maybe had never done sort of distance education before to how to do that and continue to serve learners when, face-to-face was not possible. So with all these webinars, these are our free webinars, range of topics, always time for Q&A. That's one of the most important parts. You get a copy of the recording and the slide deck. If you register for the webinar, you receive a certificate of attendance, and there's a webinar calendar on our website. It's not too full right now because we were headed towards having a conference, and I'll cover that more later, but that is where we post webinars when we're having them, just an FYI. So another way we help the field is through grant opportunities. We have, as it stands right now, we have 3 different opportunities. We have a national book fund, which I don't manage this, but I think it's been around at least 25 years, if not longer. And that provides the grant winners with New Readers Press, printed books and materials. The Mobile Learning Fund is a relatively new fund, just a few years old. That provides grant applicants with New Readers Press digital education materials. And then we have Write Her Future Institute, which awards participants with Voxy NGen licenses. And Write Her Future Institute is actually a program that was born of a partnership with Lancome, the cosmetics giant, and they wanted to improve the lives of women. So it's very women-centric. There's more information about that on our website if you want to learn more about it. But it is, programs can participate and apply, and if they get selected, they can get Voxy NGen licenses to use with their learners. Okay, professional development, another important tool. One of the ways we deliver professional development is through our learning management platform, which is called Education Network. We have self-paced courses on there, video libraries, downloadable resources, printable resources, and there's a slew of both online activities and forums on EdNet. Each person has to have their own account on EdNet. It's individualized. They're free accounts, but you have to have your own account. And the reason why is it has to be individualized in order to track your training. Because if you're trying to share an account with somebody else, you went in and took, say, half the tutor training, that other person would log in and it would show they took half the tutor training when they hadn't. So I'll get more into EdNet and how it relates to members, but members, we identify members by the member number. So that's how we know who is a member and entitled to special resources. So another key opportunity of professional development is our conference on adult education. We have over 100 presentations and workshops that we offer, lots of networking opportunities. As some of you may know or may not be aware, we were headed towards San Antonio, Texas last month for our conference. And if you read the news, you know, unfortunately, COVID cases were surging there, and we had to make the very difficult decision to postpone our conference and err on the side of caution in favor of everyone's safety. We are right now trying to work on when we're going to have new dates. It's a negotiation between the hotel lawyers and our lawyers, so I don't know how long those things take, but we will keep you posted. We'll shout it from the rooftops. Believe me, we're panting to know the new dates as well. So we also advocate at a national level for adult literacy to make sure there's adequate funding to keep the adult literacy issue top of mind with legislators. We'll let you know about action alerts if we know that some important legislation is going to be voted on. We'll send you an email to let you know and rally everybody to sort of email their congressperson, their senator. But we also provide you with tools to do your own advocacy. So the advocacy toolkit is one of those tools so that you can also advocate for your program at the local and regional level. And of course, as an organization, we participate on the National Coalition for Literacy and when possible, do promotions in national media. Okay, so back to Education Network. I promised to expand on this a little. Some of this is duplicative, but one of the things I wanted to mention was Member Central, and there are exclusive resources for members on Member Central. And I just wanted to sort of give you, when you sign in, now this is my login, and so I get to be a member, so it says thank you for being a member. So if you have a member account, you'll know right away because it'll welcome you by name and thank you for being a member. If you don't see that thank you for being a member, that means your account is set up as a non-member. So if you are a member and you have a non-member account, you'll want to change that so that you can get that fixed and access member resources. You can email the EdNet administration team at ednet@proliteracy.org and they can change your status, but you'll need to be able to give them your member number. So when you log on to EdNet, there's a number of ways you can click here, whatever we're featuring that month. You can search by your role in the organization. So whether you're a program manager, a tutor teacher, a trainer, or a student. We don't have a lot of student resources right now, but we are building that out. Or you can come right down to Member Central and view the various resources that are just available to members. So there's a lot of information on EdNet. A lot of resources. I encourage you to check it out if you haven't yet. Again, the account is free. Even if you're not a member, you can still access a lot of resources. So definitely check it out. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into what are the benefits for members. So as you're aware, ProLiteracy and Mackay have been working on a deal to offer organizational membership to all the programs represented by individual Mackay members. We are almost at the completion of setting that up. We've had a few back and forths trying to make sure we have the right information. So the hope was to have all that information, have those of you who are getting memberships, your member numbers by now. It didn't quite materialize that way, but I anticipate we'll have this all set next week. But nonetheless, let me take you on a tour of some of the terrific benefits you get. So once you get your member numbers and your accounts, you can jump right in. Okay, so one of the key benefits is access to our tutor training. A few years back, we responded to the field's need to have sort of a comprehensive training. This was something some programs reported was difficult for them to marshal the resources and time to develop their own training. So we responded by creating online tutor training. There's modules in basic literacy. So there's a basic literacy course and an ESL course. This training is comprehensive. Obviously, this became very useful when we went through the shutdowns for COVID because you couldn't train people in person. So we were encouraging programs to use our online tutor training. This is meant to be adaptable. It is not a one size fits all. You do not, I think there's like 13 modules in basic literacy and 16 in ESL. You do not have to assign your tutors the entire training. In fact, I always tell any volunteer coordinator or tutor trainer who's ever doing the training, you should take the training yourself first, familiarize yourself with all the modules, and then decide how you want to use it when training your own people. You can assign just some of the modules. You can ask them to test on the information they learned in a module. And if they pass the test, they get a certificate that they can email to you or send to you. You can have them take the whole course. You can have them take some modules and combine it with some other material you want them to read that's unique to your program. So again, this wasn't meant to be a one size fits all. And there is a downloadable training as well. I didn't emphasize that right now, like with slides. So if you're back to being able to do in person, or down the road you want to be able to do in person, we cover the same content in a downloadable in person format that you can download, and you can combine both. You can cover some content in person if you want, and then have tutors do some training online. I mean, the beauty of this is the tutors can do their training wherever they have an internet access and do it on their time when it's convenient for them, as opposed to, I know programs sometimes struggle. You need to have a minimum number of participants, and getting everybody in the same room at the same time can be difficult. So this kind of frees you from that because you can have tutors be doing a lot of training independently, and then maybe try to get them together to do a portion of training. All right, I went on about that quite a bit. I'm sorry, but it is kind of a crown jewel of our benefits, and one I think you'll find useful. We also have a marketing toolkit. We call it a member toolkit, but it's really about marketing. Not every program can afford to have their own marketing person. So we created these little how-to guides, gives you the basic rundown on how to use email marketing, SEO, social media. And for those of you who don't know SEO, that's search engine optimization. I don't even know it that well. I just know that's how you sort of tag, how you set up your web page and make sure that people find you when they're searching. And I think it has to do with tags. I don't even know. I'm not the marketing person. So hence I should read the SEO tool. We also do learn and share webinars. These are webinars we just do just for our organizational members. Past topics have included storytelling, branding, that was a very popular one, digital assessment tools, and some distance learning how-tos. Okay. Instructional materials, another benefit. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because Elaine is going to school you in this quite a bit, but you do get a 25% discount on New Readers Press publications. These are publications for which we have the imprint and publish. You also are eligible to get 50% discount on News for You online renewals. Now, brand new members, the first year they join us, they get a free News for You online subscription. And then thereafter, they can renew if they love the product, which I think they will. They can renew at a discount. And that's a substantial savings, because I think an annual subscription is $256 or almost $300. So 50% off is quite a bit. Again, I'll let Elaine talk to you more about that. Another instructional material you get as a member is Notebook. This is sort of our teaching guide. It includes ready-made lesson plans in every issue. So we encourage you to share this with tutors. You can photocopy lessons, share it generously. I mean, there's lesson plans in every issue. So if you were in a bind and didn't have time to prepare a lesson, you could just grab something right out of a notebook and be good to go. And you can see in that sample cover speaking, writing, technology, numeracy, all the topics that you may want to cover. There's teaching strategies. We mail a print version to the primary contact for the membership, and then we also email it to all the contacts associated with that membership. So all those individuals get a digital copy that you can download the PDF and print as needed. And also, just a footnote, all the past issues are available on Member Central, that members only resource or section on Education Network. So you're not just limited to whatever issue of Notebook is in front of you. If you're looking for, numeracy lessons, you can search on EdNet numeracy, and search through the archive and maybe find several lessons on numeracy and pick which one appeals to you the most. Okay, another factor about EdNet, an organizational member benefit is we will create a custom login page for you and a forum. This is to make it easier for tutors. You're going to assign the tutor training. This makes it easier for them to find you, to access the train, to log into Education Network, to get signed in, to create an account. It just makes the whole process easier. But it also allows you a place. Not every program can afford to have its own restricted area, and it gives you a place to share resources with your tutors and also have a forum where you guys can talk, exchange information, and communicate. So this has been a very popular. More and more programs are signing up for it. It's pretty simple. You just sign on. You just complete a form with some basic information that goes to our EdNet team, and then they get back to you and we'll build out your account. Okay, I've spoken enough. I'm now going to hand the floor off to Elaine. Take it away, Elaine.
That was wonderful, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
I think I learn a little more each time. I was watching Michael there. I saw him shaking his head many times. I know he's a big ProLiteracy member, and I know he takes advantage of a lot of those wonderful features. So that's wonderful. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Elaine. I think most of you know me, but just in case you don't, my name's Elaine Pardick, and I am your account representative for New Readers Press. And we are very excited about our partnership with McKay Literacy. I think we're all going to benefit from this wonderful opportunity that actually Patrick reached out to us, and we were like, yeah, this is a great idea. So for those of you who aren't familiar with New Readers Press, New Readers Press is the publishing division of ProLiteracy. And ProLiteracy, like Michelle said, is the largest adult literacy program and organization in the world, and we've been around for over 50 years. So, and all the proceeds from New Readers Press support ProLiteracy to help to change lives of communities and empower those through adult literacy. So as you see, we have a big mission and we work together. And so I guess the easy way to put it is what New Readers Press Publishing is a sister to ProLiteracy, I guess. Sister, brother, however you want to see it. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, all right, is that the next slide? Okay, I have been getting a few calls from oh, you're fine right there's good.
I thought I was on the wrong slide. Sorry, I wanted to double check.
I had a couple calls like last week and this week. They're like, oh, how do we know where to find the member pricing? And do you have an order form? So this is just an easy little way to show you how to find it. If you go to newreaderspress.com, so if some of you have your laptops, if you just go to newreaderspress.com and then you scroll down to the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see this how to order. So you would just click on that. And once you do that, the download and order form will show up, and you can just click on that and a PDF will open up, and you can go to the next slide. There you go. So then the PDF will open up and it'll look like this, and you're going to see that you have the title of the material or product, and then the other information here, the stock number, but you're also going to see over to the very far right your membership pricing. So the easiest way to keep things organized is to go online, download the PDF document, and then you just want to always stay focused over here in the very far right. And that will be your new member pricing. All righty, the next slide. Okay, and then like as Michelle said too, for the first year of being a ProLiteracy member, you will receive News for You Online for your organization, which I know there's a lot of you already using News for You Online and our print in Michigan. So this is a wonderful add-on for some of you that maybe you had the print and didn't have the online. So I think that you will enjoy it. But you do know that News for You is a weekly news publication every Wednesday, I think at midnight. That's when the new one is released. But it's a publication featuring current events and human interest stories. Once your accounts are set up, which if I'm going to back up here from what Michelle said, I think if we get everything set up next week, would they probably receive an email from the home office probably a week or two later after that following?
Yes. So once we get the membership set up, I will relay them to the new orgs. This is a one-time only offer. So if you've been an organization in the past and already got your free year, you can't get it again. But if you're a brand new organizational member, I will relay the information to our NRP team to enter the subscriptions, and then the system will send you an email with your password so you can log on and start accessing the subscription.
Okay, wonderful. That's what I thought. So basically you'll get an email notification with all your login and password information. We can go to the next slide. You basically would log into newsforyouonline.com. And then when you're on there, you're going to see that you're going to see all the news stories. You're going to see that it'll help the students read, write, speak, and understand the English language. There's 7 news stories posted each Wednesday, along with audio, exercises, vocabulary, and a crossword puzzle, and a word search, and a poll. You can listen to each story sentence by sentence or full story with all audio. The News for You subscription is accessible on any computer, tablet, or mobile device. If you go to my exhibitor page for the conference, I've included 2 short videos. One of the videos is just an overview of News for You Online, and then the other one is a video on how to use News for You Online, and there's also some teacher tips. And those, I actually embedded that video in the slide here, but it's also on my exhibitor page. I think under the company description, you'll find that. And that's I would highly recommend watching those 2 videos before you start to sign into your account, and it'll provide a lot of good information. We can go to the next slide, Michelle. Okay, so once you do log in and you're on that page, you'll see right here that you will put your password. It'll be a sheet that a notification from the home office. You'll enter your password. And then when you do sign in, you're going to have these tabs here: Home, About News for You, Tips for Teachers, and Archive. I would highly recommend, first thing I would do is click on About News for You. And when you do that, there's just a lot of information right there on that screen to help walk you through getting started. Like I said, that video I mentioned, how to use News for You Online. There's just a wealth of information there. And this one here, there's tips for teachers on how to use the teaching guide that comes along with the subscription. And then over here in the archive, if you're working on a lesson and there's a particular article you'd like to go back and use for your lesson, you can put that in the search bar when you click on this tab. And so then you have access to even more articles and more lessons for your program. We can move on to the next one. Okay, Michelle touched on this too a little bit. One nice thing about ProLiteracy is they have plenty of opportunities for grants and fundings. And I'm going to share just a little bit of that with you. So next slide. The Mobile Learning Fund. As Michelle mentioned, the Mobile Learning Fund is fairly new. I think it really kind of happened just right before the pandemic, didn't it?
Yeah, like a year before, I think. So very prescient.
We're kind of getting our feet wet with digital. We're thinking, yeah, let's do digital. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh boy, we are digital. Went fast, but the Mobile Learning Fund provides adult literacy programs and their students with digital education materials to help teach adults to read. Subscriptions and license available through the Mobile Learning Fund include digital products through New Readers Press. And we can go to the next slide. All these digital products here are available through the Mobile Learning Fund. And so that would include New Readers Press online learning. And I go into that in more detail in other slides. So I'm just going to mention that. Learning Upgrade, Voxy, Liamos, and News for You Online. So if you're looking at adding some digital programs, digital opportunities to your programs, you might want to take a look at the Mobile Learning Fund. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so New Readers Press online learning it has courses for pre-HSE, GED, and HiSET test prep. Oops, I got on the wrong slide here. Hang on a second, excuse me. Our GED course is aligned to the GED Ready and has a custom study plan available. You can also supplement our online courses with our print materials to provide a blended classroom, blended learning. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is if you want to take a peek at this before you apply for the Mobile Learning Fund, you can have a 90-day pilot on any of these. And then tomorrow at 10:30, Rachel, nope, excuse me, it's today at 10:30, Rachel from New Readers Press will be joining us, and she's going to provide a deeper dive overview of the New Readers Press online learning platform. So if you want to take a look at that, you can join at 10:30. All right, next slide. Then coming soon, which I think is coming at the end of the year, first of the year, our new TABE online learning. It'll be set up similar to the New Readers Press online learning I just shared with you, but this is all something you can also apply to through the Mobile Learning Fund. It should be coming, oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, so this will be coming toward the end of the year. All righty, next slide. Got a little ahead of myself. All right, Learning Upgrade is also available through the Mobile Learning Fund, and Learning Upgrade really has become quite an exciting, I think we found that through some research and just through the pandemic that folks are using their phones. Most people, no matter their status, where they're at in life, usually have a phone. So it seems like the Learning Upgrade mobile app, digital app is really catching on. And so because of its popularity today, they are actually, they have added many, many programs, but the Learning Upgrade app is a, I don't want to say it, it can be used on smartphones, computers, and students learn differently. They learn through song, videos, and games. So if you're, trying to reach someone that does need to learn different than others, some people can read a book and understand the book, others cannot. So this is definitely a very exciting way to maybe sit down with someone else and try a new way for them to learn. And for Learning Upgrade, 90-day pilots are also available. And then also today at 10:30, Rachel will share a little time going into a deeper dive on Learning Upgrade. But what I wanted to share is you can see all the classes. They have beginning level math, beginning level English, and then they have the digital literacy course. And you can see the prep courses over here as well. When we go to the next slide, I'll show some of the new features that will be out, that are either already out or will be out later this year. Okay, so the digital literacy, oops.
Sorry.
She's got quick fingers. The digital literacy course is out and available, and it is on the Learning Upgrade app. And as you can see, it's 60 lessons, and you can see that some of the topics: internet basics, file types, advocacy. You can just go on calendars, travel. But these are, students will start here at lesson 1, and they just complete lessons and follow just like they would in a game all the way to the very end. Students do very well learning this way. So let's go to the next slide. And on this next slide, New Readers Press and Learning Upgrade, we partnered together to create some print pieces that go along with the digital app. And so students can have a digital literacy workbook, and there's also teacher guides available too to help support the digital learning application for digital literacy. Okay, the next slide. Okay, so coming soon, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of some new things to look forward to. So coming soon, I think sometime in 2022, you're going to see this new right here, the new work life skills course, and it's a 30 lesson course that should be coming out toward, I would say sometime in 2022. I should know in early November of the timeline. But look at the lessons here, all very important, all things that you're working on right now with your learners, critical thinking skills, self-awareness, attitude and enthusiasm. These are all part of the process in helping that student prepare for that new job or new career change. And these are all issues that we need to work on. So this is a very important one. It'll be out soon. All right.
Is this in Learning Upgrade, Elaine?
It's going to be within the Learning Upgrade app.
Okay, great.
Okay, and next one. And then another new course coming out in 2022 will be a financial literacy course. And so you can see here, once again, it's a 30-lesson course, work benefits, home mortgages, auto insurance, all these very important issues that we do need to tackle along the way. How to read their paycheck, all those things. And that'll be coming out soon. And then the last one there, the next one. The next new course is citizenship. This will be coming out, like I said, in 2022. And you can see some of the courses, another 30-lesson course. Now, the wonderful thing about these last ones I just shared with you, the financial literacy, the citizenship, and the life skills, as we did with the digital literacy course and put together the companion print pieces, we are currently in talks to possibly put together some companion workbooks to go along with these as well. So that is our hope anyway to have. I don't know the timeline on that yet, but wouldn't that be wonderful if we could have all that put together as well? Okay, the next slide. All right, and also available through the Mobile Learning Fund is Voxy Engine. Voxy Engine is actually available through the Mobile Learning Fund and the Write Her Future Fund. And just, let's see here, a little bit about Voxy. I'll probably go into a little bit more in a little bit because we got the session afterwards, but it's a mobile learning platform with personalized instruction for each learner's goals, levels, and interests. It has support for grammar, listening, reading, vocabulary, and writing. It's available in 14 different languages, has word banks, grammar guide, flashcards, and pronunciation practice. But overall, what it really does is it can base it general English course, digital literacy. It has career specific courses that are designed to support education and vocational needs. Learners can upskill and reskill, which this is so important right now, while fostering personal and professional growth. So Courtney will be joining us on Friday at 10:30, and she's going to provide a brief overview of Voxy. And at that time, I'll also ask her to share some of the, the new career courses that are out, which they just added 3 more this week. Next slide. And Michelle touched on this just a little bit. So Voxy is also available through the Write Her Future grant. The Write Her Future Institute is a program that provides grants to programs and forms a digital solution that teaches English to women learners. And it is kind of powerful the way ProLiteracy and Lancome work together to develop this Write Her Future Institute. It's all about empowering women through literacy by providing opportunities and tools for women to improve their lives. So I strongly urge you to take a look at this one as well, especially with all the new career specific courses Voxy's adding. What a wonderful time, to look about making a career change. Next one. I mentioned the career specific courses. On the next few slides, I'm just going to show you some of the new ones that just were released this week. But I think this is a wonderful opportunity to reach out to your students and try this. You can do a 30-day trial. You can apply through the Mobile Learning Fund. You can apply through Write Her Future. But it's an opportunity to sit down with your students for 30 days and look and see if this is a way that works for them, and maybe a way that would help them, get these skills they need to look into whatever their new career. Like the careers before COVID aren't really the careers right now. Things have changed, so we have to change. Let's go to the next slide. This is one that I think is really popular right now in Michigan. I see a lot of emails come through, a lot of initiatives. So this is one of their career pathways, healthcare. And this is one where, that will help learners learn some of the terms, maybe some general careers that they might have an interest in. It's just those beginning pathways to help them find out, is this something I would be interested in? Is this a career I might want to pursue. So this is one of the new ones. Let's go to the next slide. Automotive, this is popular. This just was released this week. In this course, the learners will grasp key understandings and concepts of vocabulary involving vehicle manufacturing. Learners will further explore automotive design, car types and features, fuel types, and sustainability in the automotive industry. By the end of the course, learners will be able to develop an understanding of automotive manufacturing process, understand key terms and concepts related to the automotive design, and explore the cutting edge of future mobility and sustainability for car design. The next slide. This one will be popular too, pharmacy technician. In this course, the learners will prepare for a career as a pharmacy technician, and learners will be introduced to job responsibilities, become familiar with various types of medications, and gain an understanding of the rules and laws working in a pharmacy. By the end of the course, learners will be able to have an understanding of key terminology and concepts for a pharmacy technician. Okay, the next one. Okay, News for You Online. News for You Online is available through the Mobile Learning Fund. If you haven't checked News for You Online out, I highly recommend it. You can try it for 2 weeks. I think this will become a program staple for you. Okay, you can try it for 2 weeks, and then you can also apply through the Mobile Learning Fund. And I know I had gone through all this earlier in another slide, so I'm not going to do it again. But like I said, there's 2 videos on the exhibitor page, and then the link News for You Online will take you there to all that wealth information. And then within the next week or 2, you'll receive your password so you can log in and check this out as well. And the next slide. All right, Liamos. Liamos is also available through the Mobile Learning Fund, and Liamos is an easy to use pre-ESL online course that teaches non-literate Spanish speaking adults to read and write in their native language. Course curriculum meets key reading and listening components of CASAS. And on Liamos, you can have a 3-week trial to try it out and see how it works. Okay, those are all the things available through the Mobile Learning Fund. And real quickly, I'm just going to touch on the National Book Fund. So next slide. The National Book Fund, and I do know because I get to see the list at the end of the year. I know a lot of you guys on the call take advantage of the National Book Fund, and I know that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so you're going to see a lot of your favorites. But the ProLiteracy's National Book Fund provides adult literacy and basic education programs with educational materials from New Readers Press to help teach adults to read. As you can see, a lot of your favorites right there on the screen. Okay, we go to the next one. I couldn't leave out Score Boost because you guys, I know Michigan, you guys really gobble up Score Boost. I check that out when I see those come through, but that's always a good staple and a good one to get. All righty, I'm going to go on to the next one. One thing I wanted to share about Journey to Success, we've had it, it's been out for a while, but I think it might be one that's just a little bit overlooked, and especially right now when we're really trying to figure out these work skills, life skills, and we're trying to figure out what is the perfect, what can I use to reach out to my students, and my students are at all different levels, and how to meet them where they are. So if you haven't tried Journey to Success, I would highly recommend reaching out to me for a sample copy. But Journey to Success has an intro level and goes to level 8. And it really is, I would just say it's so up to date. And right now, I think your students would enjoy it. It's an easy to follow series. When you get to levels 3 through 6, they're built around 4 theme units. And the first one in every unit is work and life skills. So, those are key right now and so important. And like I said, this is, I think I want to say, if you enjoyed Challenger over the years, and I know a lot of you folks like Challenger, I would highly recommend giving Journey to Success a try. And on our website, we have lots of free correlations. You can download the correlations to CASAS. It's all on there. And I can always help you on the website since we have a new look to where you can find some of these free resources. But I just wanted to kind of feature Journey to Success because I think it's a right now series that you can use with your students. It's relevant. And like I said, it really focuses on a lot of those work and life skills. Okay, the next slide. All right, and I also just wanted to touch on the score boost for CASAS. I know a lot of you folks use the score boost, score boost for CASAS. I just wanted to let you know on the website, when you go to our website and you go to, if you click on the CASAS score boost, you're going to find this study guide. And I thought this study guide would be very helpful to you, just helping you, plan your lessons, etc., and just some additional information. I thought would be a helpful piece. Okay, and the next one, because I think I'm going over, let's see here, life skills. I know that's big right now. I know we're all trying to figure out how can we connect with our student, and how can we help them better communicate with their families and their home. And so, New Readers Press has some materials, and they've had them for quite some time. And maybe, there is sometimes like it's old, but does it still work? Yes, it does. So the From Home to School series, I think they're theme stories and activities that they help the adult learner develop reading fluency and speaking skills that strengthen communication between parents, teachers, and students. And that is critical right now. If we want to connect and be a part, that whole community we're talking about, we have to start with the parent and make them comfortable, help them be comfortable communicating with their child in their school, and then also with their doctors in their after school events. So I would highly recommend taking a look at this series too. And then if you are incorporating a financial literacy course within your program, Control Your Money is a wonderful, wonderful book to use. And I know Michael's shaking his head, he does it. And if we have time real quick here at the end, I'm just about done. Maybe Michael will share a little bit of his financial literacy program. He uses Control Your Money in our book, Easy Money. But yes, he may even be using From Home to School. He probably is. So, all right, next slide. So once again, I just wanted to touch on life skills. If you're saying, well, we can't ever find any materials, we're just not aware of any materials, I would also maybe reach out to me for a sample of That's Life and Life Goes On. These books are just, they're theme books, but they touch on all the basics, people, family, transportation, food, health, work, shopping, money, community. So I just think that this would be an enjoyable series to share with your students as you're trying to tackle some of these basic skills that we do need to help folks with to help better them and have a better life. All righty, we're going to move on to the next one. I know I'm just about done here. Workforce readiness. I'll try to get through this a little bit here. Workforce readiness. I also want you to know that we have a lot of solutions to help you prep that student. I know by the time the student gets to you, they're not ready yet for the workforce. There's a lot of work that has to be done. And so you have to have a lot of tools to use at this lower level to meet them where they are, and then help to upskill them so they can move on to the careers they want. And so that's what we have. And if we can go to the next slide. I wanted to mention these have been around for a while, but these are outstanding resources. Yeah, I see Michael shaking his head again. I'll go let him know. But these WorkWise books, there's 6 of them, and 3 that are soft skills and 3 that are academic skills. These are relevant. You can use these right now. These are easy to use for the student. And I believe over on the ProLiteracy Network side, we have a Pitney Bowes workforce. Yeah.
Yep.
And they use the WorkWise series in that course. So that course is free to them, and they could also supplement with the WorkWise. But anyway, okay, we'll move on to the next slide. I won't go on and on about that, but just wanted to share here just a quick overview. If you're looking for, obviously the WorkWise books, the Road to Work books here, I think are at a little bit lower level. I think it was more designed for English language learners, ESL, but can be used with any learner, and all these other resources as well. All right, let's hook to the next one. Okay, I know I mentioned sample copies often throughout my conversation today. On the website, I have this form. Please feel free to fill it out. And if there's anything you'd like to review that's either print or digital, just fill it out, email it back, and I'll be right on that, and I'll make sure you're all squared and taken care of. All righty, and our next slide. Okay, a special offer while we're waiting on your membership to get set up. free shipping on orders of $100 or more. The special offer is good now through 11/30, and the promo code is McKay21. And then also here's a link to the digital catalog, and here's a link to one of those videos I mentioned, but the most important video is how to use your News for You online. And as I mentioned, it's on the exhibitor site. And I think that's it.
Yep, I think we're ready to start tackling some of these questions. I'll leave this web links, and I have our contacts on the next slide, but I'll leave these important web links up for now while we field some questions.
Yes, and if Michael would like to share anything on his stuff he's doing, that would be wonderful. I think folks would love to hear it.
I think we would want to answer anyone's questions first. I've been looking in the chat to see if there were some. I'm on the Zoom side, not the Whova side. So if there are some chat questions in the Whova side, please voice them now. This is wonderful resources.
Let's see. I don't see any questions.
While we are waiting for questions, I can say, just as Elaine said, we do use many of these resources. We use the WorkWise, we use the News for You, Road to Work, and several others. They do correlate very well into ABE, ESL, and basic literacy instruction. And they're very well prepared, so you don't have to do all of this reinvention of the wheel. Wonderful resources.
I do see a question in the chat about, will you ever bring back your accreditation process? That's from Mary. Hi, Mary. Very unlikely, and allow me to explain why. The accreditation process proved to be extremely costly, and it was just so costly it was unsustainable. There were a lot of labor demands because part of that process, and it predates me, so I apologize if I don't get the details exactly right, but part of that accreditation process involved us sending somebody out to do an on-site assessment. So there were a lot of travel costs, and it just proved to be too costly to sustain. I know it was a very popular program, and some people are very sad about it going away. We have had some conversations about ways we could bring back, not exactly an accreditation process, but some kind of certification that can be done entirely online or something of that nature. We do have the national quality standards are available on Education Network. If you want to follow the national quality standards, that's always a good way to make sure your program is hewing to the best practices. But right now it's just been conversations. Like all of you guys, we're still kind of recovering from the switch to COVID, and we're looking at a lot of our different resources and trying to allocate our resources best we can to get the most bang for our buck in terms of what we can bring to the field that will give you the most value. So that's an ongoing discussion and evaluation, but the accreditation process in its original form will not be coming back. So I see there's another question. Will you be having a conference in 2022? Gosh, we certainly hope so, and I know that's the plan. As I said before, we're eager to have our new dates from the postponed conference as well. It's really in the negotiation stage between the hotel and our legal team representing our interests, because certainly there was a financial cost to the postponement. So we're trying to mitigate that and then come up with new dates for the postponed conference. And of course, as soon as we have them, we will be shouting it from the rooftops. We're just as eager on the staff side to know what our new dates are, but it's just in a holding pattern right now, unfortunately. So those are the only questions I see in the Q&A. I don't know if people can raise their hand. I'm not familiar with this is my first time using the Whova app, so I'm not familiar with all its functioning. So please bear with me. Let's see. Is there any other way people can ask questions, Michael?
Yes, they can unmute themselves and say, hello, I have a question.
Okay. Does anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question? We're happy to answer any and all questions. We threw a lot of information at you, and we know that.
But a lot of good stuff, you know. It is exciting.
Looks like all of the questions were answered by the comprehensiveness of your presentation.
Wow, I find that hard to believe, Michael, but thank you for being so flattering. Well, I'm going to throw up a slide with all our contact information so you can get the help you need. If you have a question about your membership, it'll be membership@proliteracy.org, an easy email to remember. If you have issues with your account on an education network, edned@proliteracy.org. And of course, if you want to reach out to Elaine and buy some of these great products she showed you, you can reach her at those contact details or sell her fax and her email. And if nobody has any other questions, I mean, we still have just a few minutes. So last call for questions. Don't be shy. Nothing?
We're good. Let them all.
Okay, well, that's okay. You can reach out if you're too shy. Please email us and ask your questions privately if you'd like. We so appreciate you coming. Again, I hope you'll really enjoy. Those of you who are going to get the membership, we hope you'll enjoy it and make the most of it. And we want to help you do that, as does Elaine. So again, any questions or anything, please reach out.
Thank you, guys. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Elaine and Michelle.
Bye.
You're wonderful.
Thank you.
You so much.
Thanks. Thanks, Michael. Bye.
Yes, and we hope that everyone continues on to the rest of our sessions to enjoy this wonderful conference that we are having for McKay. So thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you in future sessions.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.